Greetings, everybody. Welcome in. Happy Monday, December 20th. I am guest hosting for Dave this morning. Had a little change up on our plan, so I'm guest hosting. He's going to take over later in the week. But good to see you guys as you're coming in. Let us know where you tuning in from and how was your weekend? Let us know. We had a great weekend. Nothing crazy, I guess. Let's see. What did I do this weekend? I don't know. I mostly just did nothing and laid around the house. I got a good nap yesterday. I never nap, but I got a good nap yesterday. That was cool. Got just some good relaxation. So anyway, welcome in to everybody who's here. We've got an awesome guest as usual. We do this show every Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern. We go live. It's never scripted. In fact, typically I get a little questionnaire with the guests' info and just a little blurb about them so I can come in and I'm not just completely flying in the dark. And today I don't even have that. So we're literally I was like, are you ready to go live? We're just going to hit live and we're going to hit it and go. So I'm excited to learn about Cindy. She's up from Jersey and we're just going to chat for a little while this morning about her and her journey. And she's tried a lot of different things online. So let's bring in Cindy. What's happening?
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for taking the time. So you're from Jersey.
Yes.
You said before we went live, you've tried a lot of different stuff. Why don't you bring our guests and our community into your world and just tell us a little bit about you? Tell us, do you work a job? Have you tried other things to make money online? What does that look like? And how'd you find us?
Well, I've never actually had a 9-to-5 job ever. I left college about my junior year because I decided, they always say like, do what you love. And I love shopping. And it was around, I think it was the late 80s. And so I left to start a personal shopping business. And I didn't know anything about marketing, so I only had a couple customers, so that wasn't really a good thing, but it seemed like a great idea at the time.
Okay.
So then I went on and I rode horses. I rode show horses for years, and so I traveled, and that was fun. And then I decided to start publishing a magazine in 2003, and I had no idea about that, but somehow for 15 years we managed to. It was a good run. Sold one of the magazines, and then about 2017, that's when I closed the second magazine. So that's when I really decided I needed to find something else. And I knew my husband is kind of like a 9-to-5 job guy. He's like, well, get a job. And I'm like, no, if I've never had a job, I'm 55 now. I've never had a job. Why would I start now? So I'm like, no, but I've tried. It's embarrassing to say how many MLMs I tried and did.
Yeah. Tell us.
10.
Okay.
I mean, I tried everything. And then how I found you guys was I had the magazine I still own the one, and okay. I still have all the social media and like all the contacts. And I thought, well, that's a waste of a lot of people. But I don't want to start printing again. So I thought, well, I'll print back digitally. And I know doing that, I could have all kinds of links and connect it to things and do a lot of stuff with it. The only thing I knew about affiliate marketing was like MLMs have affiliate programs. That's all. I thought that was all they were. Like, you know what I mean? It was just a part of an MLM. Yep. So then I started looking it up, and you might be too young. Have you ever watched The Wizard of Oz?
Yes.
Okay. Remember the scene where Dorothy opens a door and it goes from black and white to color?
Yep.
Remember that? Well, that's when I started looking up affiliate marketing. I'm like, oh my God, this is a thing. This isn't like it's nothing like I thought. So then I started looking, and of course on TikTok, I saw a guy named Matt Chambers, I think was his name. And he was like, oh, you can make money doing this and you can promote companies that you like. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so much better than what I was doing. And so I saw it that day, and then I went to bed, and then it was like the middle of the night. I woke up and I'm like, no, I have to do this. And I jumped up and I got my credit card and I signed up and I started the next day. So that's the short version of what I got here. Wow.
That's crazy. That's cool. Take us. I'm just so curious about sort of the MLM days. Not to take you back there, but I do find that a lot of people try out different things before they come here. So for instance, for you, it might've been that, but for other people, it was like drop shipping or some sort of an e-commerce store or something like that. What what did you feel like was attractive about that business model, and what were you looking for, or what were you hoping to get out of that business model?
Well, I think I liked the idea that you had sort of built-in support because the way it's structured, they want you to succeed, so they're going to help you. I like the idea of
Hmm.
that. I like the idea, obviously, of being able to generate income, somewhat passive income.
Yep.
Um, so that part all seemed great. The part, it's never, it doesn't work. I mean, I still have people that won't answer the phone, people that they think, oh God, she's like, I mean, they weren't my good friends, but they tell you you bother everybody. And every conversation is like, how can I slip this in? And I don't know, it just felt so like uncomfortable.
Yeah,
But I did love the idea of it. I mean, and I know people do great at it. I know some people are. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that type of business. It
totally.
just was terrible fit for me.
Yeah, it makes sense. The that particular business, yeah, it's tricky. Dave always says that. Dave always asks, "So, are you in the NFL yet?" And people kind of look at him like, "What NFL?" And he says, "The No Friends Left Club,"
Mhm.
uh, which is that whole analogy of, what's your marketing strategy? Well, pick up the phone, or pick up a pen and paper and start writing down everybody you know, and then start calling and do your home party. And it is exhausting. It's exhausting. And I think it's taxing on relationships too. And yeah, that makes sense. But I do think you're right on like so you're seeking for something, right? You're seeking for a way to make money online, or at least somewhat passively, right? Like at least something that's not gonna, you're thinking outside the box. You're trying to find something that's a little more passive, doesn't require you to be hands on every waking moment. So you discover Legendary, you discover the challenge, you discover the 15-day challenge. I'm curious if you've bought anything, other information products like this before Legendary.
Mm-mm. No,
Nothing?
no, no. And I think Ian, I was watching because I try not. That was one of the things I learned when I first started this is you can't like look at a lot of stuff because you get confused. So Ian, that is obviously from Legendary. I follow his stuff, and he made a comment the one day that it's like a driver's license. You don't go get a second one. Once you go, you learn to drive, you get your
Mhm.
driver's license, and then you practice and you go out there. And I thought that's exactly why would I go try to get more from a different place. And this is working. I mean, I'm totally new at it, but I have had made commissions, which is the most exciting thing. It doesn't matter, it's just amazing.
Yeah, just to see it work, right?
Hmm.
Just to actually like see it work, and to be like, oh, okay, this does work. There's
You just get an email and you're like, oh my God, so
right.
cool.
Yeah. So when you'd never seen any or bought any training like this before, you sign in, you look at the challenge. Tell me about, like, did you know any of the information inside the challenge? Was this totally new? What was your thoughts and feelings, and what was your experience like going through a training like that, like the
Well,
challenge?
it is totally new. I did it. This is like advice to people that do it. I got so excited when I'm like seeing it that I'm like, oh my God, like this makes sense. It like feels right. Like I can do this. So I kind of blew through the course without I'm having to go back
Hmm.
and go through the steps, and like the funnels are challenging. And for me, because I'm not terribly detail oriented, I'm just so if I see it and I like it, I'm like, I'm in. And
Yeah.
so but the information it talk about over delivering. I mean, that course is so packed full, like you could never, I mean, I could recommend it to anybody and say you will, what you get is so much more than that kind of course, and information you can use in anything. It can help you in other areas.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, we've had people who have taken what they've learned in the challenge, and they've just gotten better positions in their jobs. Like, while they're trying to build their entrepreneurial thing, they're also like, wow, you know what? Like, some of them work in like a HVAC company, or some of them work in these various niches and industries where lead generation is like that's the most important thing. If you can figure that out, there's plenty of guys you can hire to do electric work or, HVAC work or plumbing or whatever, but getting the leads and actually learning the marketing is where all the money's at. And yeah, I think you're right. I think that is, we call that as transferable skills. So like skills that can be used in a myriad of different ways, to help grow any business and really to help grow a person too, because we do focus so much on, not just the mechanics, but also the dynamics of how do you think differently about money? How do you think differently about all of that stuff? Yeah. What, so are you on social media? Do you market at all? Are you, what, because I don't have a questionnaire. Typically I have like some social media links or something. I'm flying in the dark. Have you tried any social media? How have you marketed your business so far?
Well, I'm a beginner on TikTok. I'm terrible. I post a lot of TikToks, and I'm getting better. I'm getting better. And you know what? I just figure, I try to, like, I'm realizing, excuse me, now that they're not, like, starting to be able to like identify some of the like things about them being shorter and certain things, how they work. But yeah, I'm pretty awful at TikTok, but I post there regularly.
You're too hard on yourself. What's
Oh,
your
haven't.
handle?
Oh, okay. Now that's another thing. Okay. So my husband, like I said, all along, he's been like, get a job, get a job, get a job. So, and that to me is like, like I said, that would be the most painful thing. A 9 to 5 job. It would just crush me. So, oh, and you know what I do right now though, which is kind of funny, is Instacart shopping. That's how I avoid getting a real job. While,
Okay. Yeah.
I, I shop for people, but it's avoided me having to get a real job. So
Yeah.
anyway, the name came from this whole process. So it's kind of silly. It's making money, honey, because it's a joke towards my husband that I'm making money. So
I
the
like
first,
it.
I did get one really good commission. And when that came through and I was able to show him that, um, he, he was actually speechless for a minute. And I said, "See, I'm making money, honey." And so
That's awesome.
it's
I
silly.
love that.
That's the
You're not
name.
doing bad. You've got 654 followers. I mean, listen, you can always be hard on yourself, and you could say that at 10,000 followers. You could say that at 50,000 followers. I know people who have, so I wouldn't get too like, I would just remove that negative talk or whatever, or speak. I mean, anybody who's posted as many videos as you have, and has that amount of history there, I mean, you're doing something right, because you've actually, the amount of people, think about this, who purchase our challenge or any how-to product, then the amount of people who actually open it. There's a huge fraction of people who don't even go in and don't even log in once.
Wow.
Then there's a huge portion of people who don't finish. Then there's a huge portion of people who finish and never do anything, right? So when you contextualize it in the grand scheme of the world, like, you're in a pretty small percentage of people who have actually like really taken some action and did something that was like hard and vulnerable and scary and all of those things, right? I mean, that doesn't come easy to anybody, especially not when you're brand new to social media and you don't really do a lot on social media, or at least TikTok, right?
On TikTok.
Exactly. So, I think that it's like, if you say, I really suck at TikTok, you should always follow that up by saying something like, I really suck at TikTok today. I think I suck at TikTok today, but give me a few months, give me a couple weeks, give me a few months, and I'll be 10 times better than I am today. Because it helps reframe, the journey of being a content creator as a process, rather than just as like I am good or I am not good. And it's like, no, you're just in the process of becoming good.
That's true. I sometimes try to go back when I see successful people, and I go all the way back to some of their initial videos, and it makes me feel better because in the beginning they're kind of random. They're not, you know what I mean? They're not as good either. So I'm like, okay. And I figure I'm going to accelerate the process by, I first it was like, trying to do the 3 a day. And then I'm like, well, that's not enough. So some days I'll do as many as like 6. One day I did 10. And I'm like, you know what? I mean, it has to accelerate the process, right? I just do more. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll, something will be good.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, you're right. And also, I was just gonna say, in that world of like TikTok, I just lost my train of thought. But I wanted to say that you're right. It will speed up the process, but also creating more of those TikToks, and especially being consistent with it. Oh, I know what I was. Yeah, if you go back to everybody's first videos, they all suck. They look terrible. They look ridiculous. And there's people out there in the affiliate marketing world who are like, who will say things like, you're going to ruin your reputation by posting certain types of videos, or you're going to ruin your chances of going viral, or you're going to kill your channel or whatever by, whatever. And the truth is if you scroll back far enough on anybody's videos far enough, you realize everybody's got bad videos. Everybody's trying different stuff. And when you realize that there's so many of those out there, you start to realize it's like, those aren't even bad videos. They're just videos. I mean, everybody's doing this. Everybody's trying to figure out what content's going to fit them well. Everybody's trying to figure out what content they feel comfortable creating. And eventually a couple of them go really viral. You get, a bunch of followers that come through just in a huge bunch, and things are off and running. And I think most people don't hang around long enough to see that miracle happen. But yeah, I totally agree with that. And I think people put way too much stress and anxiety. I mean, if you post a couple videos a day, all the crappy videos from your very beginning, your first whatever, are going to be gone and so far down the timeline that like most people aren't going to scroll that far anyway. Like it just won't even matter, It's very. I use this analogy. When I was little, I used to make things out to be, I think we all do this, but like anytime that we're sort of like traumatized or anything, time we're really humiliated when we're little, we sort of feel like the world is ending. Like it just feels like the world is crashing down. The world is ending. How am I ever going to survive this? And then, like a month later, it doesn't even matter. More or less, I think back on some of my memories, 20 years later, it's like, no one even, why, who cares? Like one time I was on a swing on the playground and I was trying to do a flip and my pants got caught and sort of like started to fall down, or my pants like fell down a little on the playground, right? I'm just so humiliated. People can see my underwear, all of this stuff. I thought like, this is for sure the end. Like I have to move and get out of my hometown. And it was just like, it not only did it not matter now, it didn't matter 10 minutes after that. Like no one ever said a thing about it. It was just like, whatever, who cares? Yeah, not a big deal, right? And I think people need to take that same approach with content, and this business is like, look, whatever I'm doing today, if I end up waking up in 5 days and thinking, wow, that was lame, like who cares? No one's going to see it. No one's going to know. And whatever. And I think it's becoming okay being in process, which is a hard thing to do, I think, at least for me.
Well, I think it's interesting too, because you see so many very young, really pretty people, really, they dance great, and you see that, and being older and whatever, sometimes it's hard to go, okay, I'm just gonna put myself out there. But then you realize there's a lot of people like me that are in the same place just because we're older. I mean, we're still still looking for something, still want to connect, because
Yeah.
you're going to connect to some people better. Somebody might say something or whatever, and you're going to relate to them differently. So then I just am like, just like, don't be embarrassed, and I'm committed. I know this sounds really silly. It makes me sound like I'm a nut, but I really believe in, if you call it like karma, the universe, God, whatever people want to put it on. But I really feel like the success, because it was knowing nothing, the bit of success that I've had so far, knowing nothing, I feel like that was sort of, I know I sound nuts, like a sign, like because I feel like this is the right thing. And now I'm willing to do, I had, you know what I mean? It showed me that it works. I mean, it absolutely, there's 1000% works. So now I'm willing to do everything, to make it happen. You know what I mean? I'm like, whatever. And I go back in the trainings, and you do the Instagram trainings and the TikTok trainings. And I've gone back and watched those. And I mean,
Cool.
there's so much information, it's,
Yeah.
it's really good. So, but I can, and I just, the hardest thing too, I think, is in the magazine business. When I did it, it was a while ago, and there was no step-by-step process to follow.
Yeah.
So I had to learn to figure things out. I got really good at getting creative, and that's what I don't need to do. And I have to keep reminding myself when I'm doing this, you don't have to come up with anything. It's already there. You guys, you know what I mean? All we have to do is follow the steps. You don't reinvent anything. And that's, I always have to pull back because I'm so used to trying to figure things out. And you guys have already done it.
Yeah, totally.
It's amazing. I think that, I think it's amazing.
Yeah, it's within a framework, right? It's within this framework of like, hey, here's kind of some like, I don't know, it's almost like here's like a framework to play within. And inside of that framework, there's a lot of creativity you can bring. There's a lot of ways that you can go, but there's definitely a framework of like, hey, here's how this works. Here's how you create content. Here's how you can start getting followers. Here's how you can blow up on social media. And we live in this world right now with there's just so much potential. There's so much opportunity. I've over the last 10 years, I've heard countless times how the opportunity is going away, right? How it's becoming saturated. Now everyone knows about affiliate marketing. Everyone knows about all this stuff. And it's just funny to me because I constantly wake up every single day and there's just more opportunity. There's more chances. There's more, and it's always the case. And it's just, there's more people getting online. There's more people getting on the internet. There's people from all across the globe who are never even heard of the internet, who are signing on for the very first time. And it is nonstop. And it's the modern day gold rush is really what this is. The internet is the modern day gold rush, and people think that we're done or that it's been over or it's, that it's too late or something like that. And it just couldn't be further from the opposite. It is just getting started. So anyway, yeah, I'm really passionate about that because, man, when you have some sort of a system and a community where you can learn, a program where you can learn that doesn't cost you a $40,000 university degree, you can pay $7 and sort of figure it out and get going. Yeah, it's hard to find something like that online.
It's pretty impossible. Yeah. And
Yeah.
the problem too is everybody, once you start looking at it, then you see like everybody, there's many, many people that are trying to put out programs, but they don't have the track record and the history that you guys do, and the success of how many people. I mean, you look at how many people you guys have helped that have absolutely massively changed their lives, and I think I don't know, I think it's pretty cool and pretty amazing. I'm so glad I found you guys.
Yeah.
It's the first one. I'd have been bummed if I found somebody, you know what I mean? Because you don't know when you're looking, you just randomly come across something, and if you don't know anything about it, you could stumble on anything. But I'm amazed how many people I've talked to that have no idea what affiliate marketing is, and for some reason the name, they think it's network marketing. I don't know why. I mean, I guess it's because just marketing, they hear that and they automatically think, oh my God, it's another MLM. You joined another one, like a 50th one. You know, I'm like, no, this is something totally different. But I mean,
it's pretty common because technically like MLMs are referral marketing kind of, so it is a little bit of a form of affiliate marketing, but it's a false thing to assume that all of affiliate marketing is MLM. All of MLM is affiliate marketing, sort of by definition, but it doesn't really go back the other way. Yeah, and that is funny though. People do that, and Yeah, I don't know. I'm so struck by on social media. I've been telling people a lot to not even use the phrase affiliate marketing. I've even just been telling them to use certain phrases that are more popular in pop culture. So things like side hustle or even work from home,
Okay.
or um, not that it's a hard and fast rule that you must follow, but you'll have less of those objections, right? So I typically tell people, like, people aren't really looking to start affiliate marketing. Number one, because they don't know what the hell it is. Two, they are looking for something like a side hustle because they're used to that terminology. They're used to something like, I'm gonna get on my side hustle and I'm gonna drive for Uber, or I'm gonna whatever, like back in the day, I used to drive for Uber. You do Instacart. Like,
Exactly.
everybody's thinking about or doing some sort of side hustle. And so when you bring that up, or that term, or you could use a term like, yeah, like working from home or work from home, something like that. It's a more approachable name. It's a more approachable, understood name that people can easily, yeah, that people can easily, they have connotations with things that they trust or things that they've tried before. And so it's a little bit easier of a mental step for them. Does that make sense?
So you know what? I never thought about it because you're right. They're not looking for affiliate marketing. They're looking for a way to make extra money or side money. So they're
Yep.
looking for side gig or side hustle. They're not looking. You're right. I never thought about it that way. They're not
Yeah.
specific. I'm going to start affiliate marketing today because, like you said, they don't know what it is. So why would you be looking for it? Oh, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Okay, I'm going to change that. Now,
Yeah, I think a lot of people, I mean, you probably have seen a lot of people model that, where they make videos that talk a lot about affiliate marketing. But to be honest, I think um, in most cases, those have pretty much just hurt people's channels more than helped, because their viewers and audience and people that it gets on the For You page end up, they don't really enjoy hearing about affiliate marketing all the time, because they're confused and they think it's MLM, and then they think it's a scam, right? So they're like, I did not come on here to hear about somebody's brand new MLM, like, and then they're going to report your channel, right? So as we're in the side hustle land, I mean, that can happen too, but it's less likely to happen right away, and usually not as fast, if that makes
what
sense.
ratio would you like? Because that's one thing I've been challenged by with the TikTok, like the ratio of like how consistent. Like I probably am overdoing the affiliate marketing stuff. So how what kind of ratio do you do for like? Do you mix it with fun stuff and then business stuff? Like how would you suggest that?
Yeah, for sure. So the way that I explain this to people is I create, or I would create some form of video that's an attempt to go viral. So that's modeling after some other people's videos, to look at it and see, like, hey, what kind of videos do they have on their channel that are going viral? And maybe I can make something close to that, or something that hits the same hook or whatever. And so, yeah, that's I'll do one of those, and then I'll fill in the next 5 videos with more like stories about me, or funny stuff if you like funny stuff, or if you've ever seen Ian's channel, he talks about day in the life of a bodyguard, right? People just love those videos. There's stories about his past. There's stories about, and before he started telling those stories, no one cared, no one listened, but now people really like them, and people find his stories really interesting. And that's the case with most of our lives, I think, is most of us assume that no one wants to hear it, or no one really cares. And the truth is, unless you build an audience, no one's listening, right? So that's why I tell people, create videos that can help go viral and grow your channel, and then fill your channel in with a bunch of content about you, your story, your journey, where you're at, what's the journey been like so far. Tell them about your first $1,000 you made on the internet, right? Tell them about the first lead you generated. Tell them about your transition from your former publishing stuff to now, and what you're doing now, and why this is so important to you, stuff like that. And then go live. Go live.
Gotta get to 1,000.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you'll get there. I keep posting videos, and you'll have a viral video hit, and you'll get to 10,000, fast. It happens all the time. But yeah, I would say put a big focus on one video and then fill in with 3 to 5 filler pieces that are very specific to you, that are more vulnerable, that help you connect to that audience, right? Because after a couple of those videos go viral, they're going to look at other videos on your channel and they're going to want to connect to you. They're going to want to hear from you. They're going to not just only want to hear about, side hustle videos that can make them, $50 a day in their sleep or something, like eventually they get worn down on that same content, that same messaging. So if you bring that in, it helps sort of balance it out. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. So ratio. Now, the ones that you are sort of talking about yourself a little bit, how long would you make them?
Like 30 to 60 seconds.
Okay. So just do little bite-sized pieces.
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, you could go longer if you wanted. I don't think there's any right or wrong answer to that, but
yeah, I was like, nobody cares. So I was like, I don't, I do say, talk because I'm driving a lot of times. So I just put the thing on and do videos while I drive. But
yeah.
I always thought they had to come back to the business. So you're saying, I like that ratio, total sense. Well,
in fact, it sometimes, it's this thing about jab, 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 right hook that Gary Vee talks about. You give a bunch of value, and then finally, right hook, you ask. But I think that, assuming that it all has to tie back or you have to give some business call to action every time is probably just not true, because you've got to, well, I know it's not true, but you can do whatever you want on social media. There's no right or wrong. Even what I told you today isn't gospel. Some people might look at that and be like, well, okay, that's interesting. But the truth is you can sort of set out however you want to do it. But I think personally, not everything has to tie back to your business or your call to action on your business. That's just me, though. I personally think that you can have a series of 5 to 10 videos that just are, hey, I was just thinking about I just had 2 thoughts on thinking real rich today, right? Or like, here's 2 ways that I've shifted my mindset around money in the last year, right? Or just stuff like that are more mindset, that allow you can post more content when you realize that anything's up for grabs, and you can post whatever the heck you want.
That takes the pressure off. That makes it more fun. You're right. Mindset is huge. I had to do so much mindset when I closed the business to get to the right. Mindset's massive. Because when you feel like all of a sudden you don't know who you are, you have no idea. I always knew what I wanted to do, and then all of a sudden I'm lost.
Right.
I was furniture. I was doing all kinds of weird. Whatever. Like I said,
whatever you can do.
Awesome advice. I like, and you're right. Like, you can talk about mindset. You can talk about good books. You can talk about, things that have helped you as far as on your, whole process.
Yep.
I like that. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. That is invaluable.
Yeah. Great. Oh, I'm glad that was helpful. Yeah. And again, it's the kind of thing that we talked about earlier, is like, sometimes, you post some stuff and you're just like, dang, I don't think that landed or whatever. Don't delete it. And this is a message for everybody out there who's watching this. Never delete stuff, because sometimes that can hurt your channel. If you want to set the privacy to private so that you only see it, you can do that. But just remember, in a month, it won't matter. In a month, it'll be buried in your timeline somewhere. No one will see it. Even if they do, who cares? Like, sometimes a lot of the engagement, even if it's negative or even if it's just silly, helps the channel. So don't underrate videos that you think might not be the best, but do get some engagement and help grow your channel. So
that's awesome. Okay, that's
cool.
And I didn't know that about deleting it. I have set some to private because I'm like, okay, this one's just a total dud.
Right.
Like, it's really a dud. So, and I will set it to private just so nobody can see it. Because a couple of them I did yesterday. It's just, it's funny though, the things that people watch, like I did. What do you think of the duets? Are they helpful?
Yeah.
Because I did
Stitches are really good.
stitches are better. Okay.
Yeah. Well, they can both be fine, but stitches are, I think, a little bit better because what you can do is the reason stitches are so powerful and people should do stitches way more is because at the very beginning clip, if you find a video that's gone viral, has millions of views, right? Typically, you do not go viral with millions of views unless that first few the first few seconds are really good, right? So if you see a video that's blown up, you've got a really good intro or hook. And so what you want to do is stitch that and pull that first 3 to 5 seconds. So for instance, we had one that was, we ran an ad with it actually. Um, it was this lady saying, "Hey, if you could give one piece of advice to young men in their early 20s, what would you say?" And then that's where we cut it off. And then we had Dave come in and he said, basically that, don't take out college loans for college. Work a few years, get your feet wet working. Figure out maybe a trade or something that you want to do, learn some skills, and oh, by the way, maybe start an online business where you have zero overhead, and so, but it was because of that intro that ad or that video ended up doing so well for us. But yeah, I would do a lot of stitches. And also the cool part about stitches is it helps give you lots of content ideas that are just easy to do. Super simple.
I never thought about that. I've only done one stitch. I did more of the duets, but that makes total sense because you're right. If they've already done the beginning, that's the hard part, getting people to stop. So that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, the stitches are like, it's such an unfair hack for content creators. Like it's underutilized by content creators because somebody's done a good bit or a good portion of the work before you even start creating any content. Somebody's already done a lot of the hard work to make that video go viral, to make that video become popular, and now all you have to do is just tack on your little hot take.
Oh my God, that is so, I absolutely never thought about it because I was like, oh, it seems interesting, but I never understood the concept because you're right. I mean, that's the whole, getting them to stop scrolling is the key.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, I know what I'm going to be doing.
Yeah, there you go.
All these viral videos trying to find, and that's all. That is okay. That's like my best. That is like so exciting.
Cool. Because I'm glad I could help.
I want to get to now real fast. I know we're about done, but for the lives, are they helpful for getting? Do you use them more? Do you think for getting the followers or
no conversions?
That's where you okay.
Yeah, they're more of like, so you use like the viral video type stuff and stitches to get your audience. You use stories and stuff about you and your journey to help warm up that audience, to take it from a cold audience who doesn't know you to like, oh, this is interesting. I kind of know Cindy now. And then, and also you can convert people that way too. But the last piece, going live, is a place where you can teach, you can tell more about yourself and your story and your journey, and give people a specific call to action. So like a couple examples is like Calvin Hill. He'll go live and he'll spend hours talking about crypto. And people are like, why is he just talking about crypto? He's not selling anything in crypto. And then what he does is he talks and talks for hours about bear markets, right? About how the market's going to go down. And then he says, you're going to need money to invest in a bear market. You're going to need to have cash on hand to invest in a bear market. So if you're sitting here and you're like, well, I need more cash, I wouldn't be able to invest even if the bear market smacked me in the face today. He then says, well, you need to start building your digital business. And then he takes them into his little lead magnet, which is a free ebook. And then, and then on the back end of that is his legendary affiliate link. And the same thing about Ian. He'll go on there and he'll have more intimate conversations with people. Like he'll bring them into his live, or maybe not bring them into his live, but the other day I saw him. he knows people by name and is like, hey, I saw you in here the other day. You know, I thought you said you were starting the challenge. I didn't see your name, you know, pop through. And they were like, you know who I am? But he does that thing where he really connects with his audience and people feel like, dang, this is different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I try to watch him because he's just very, he kind of, and like I said, I try to be very specific, and I just do the one course, and then I try not to follow too many people so that I don't get overwhelmed. And he seems to do everything exactly the way, you know, the process that we're supposed to do, kind of by the, you know, but add his total personal, you know, touch to it. So I'm like, I figure he's a good one to watch.
Yeah, he's a great one to watch. Yep, he's a super savvy creator. He's very heartfelt too, which I think helps a lot, allowing people to connect to him and stuff. Yeah, and he's killing it. He's, you know, he's doing really, really well and has changed his life completely with digital marketing. So. All right, we should call this thing a wrap here. Do you have anything for people who are out there who are maybe newer to our community, just getting started, thinking about posting that first TikTok video? Any words of encouragement?
Just follow the process and just own it. Don't be embarrassed. You know, we're like, I mean, I embarrass myself sometimes, but I'm like, you know what? Like you said, nobody cares, and somebody's gonna see it and say, "Damn, if she can do it, I can friggin' do it." You know.
Yep.
So,
Totally.
I mean, I'm just so glad to have found you guys, and thank you so much for letting me come on here. This is awesome.
Yeah, of course. We're just pumped that you wanted to come on. So,
I'm thrilled.
thank you for taking the time.
Thanks.
All right, I'm gonna let you go, and then I'll wrap this thing up here. For everybody who's here, here is her TikTok. Just go give her a follow on TikTok. It's at Making Money Honey, MAKIN Money Honey. It's I love that handle. And give her a follow, comment on her video, let her know that you saw her on Wake Up Legendary. And we'll be back here. I'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place at 10 a.m. Eastern for another edition of Wake Up Legendary. Go give Cindy a follow and blow her TikTok up so she can get to 1,000 followers and she can start to go live. All right, guys. Take it easy. Have a good rest of your Monday. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern.